What's good, people? We back with another video today, rocking the Browns colors. Even though we lost, it's all good. It's Kansas City. What can you expect, right? Even though we had the game, like 3 of the 4 quarters, we were in the lead, but it is what it is. We get Houston next week. That's a get-right game. I'm excited for that one. But before all that, week 1 just happened. Even though we got the Raiders and the Ravens tonight, I'll break that one down maybe tomorrow. But week 1 just happened. Sunday, football's back. So excited for it. And there's some games that shocked me and some games that I kind of pegged right. And I want to break both sides down. Maybe the one I got the most wrong, well, the Packers and Saints was, everybody got that one wrong. But the one that, kind of spoke to me the most, the game that I was probably the most surprised by, other than the Packers game, was the Bengals and the Vikings, man. I picked the Vikings to go 9-8 this year. I really like the Vikings this year, but the Bengals, man, they shocked me, man. And I was thinking to myself about how much better the Bengals defensive line got. But I never spoke on it, and that's on me. I should have spoken on that. And they looked good, man. Now, granted, it's the Vikings, and their offensive line is pretty rough, but man, the Bengals D-line got after it, man. And I'm so happy that Joe Burrow is finally healthy. He's healthy again. He's got even more weapons now. Beautiful. I think it was a 50-yard, 60-yard touchdown to Jamar Chase, recreating the LSU magic. I saw a video on Twitter rather, of them connecting on the exact same play while both attending LSU. I mean, butter, baby. And I was critical. I'll take the heat for it after 1 week. I was critical of the Bengals selection of Jamar Chase over Penei Sewell or even Rashawn Slater. So far, so good. Now again, it's the Vikings, so temper expectations. It's not the Steelers, who we might get to later on in the video. It's not the Ravens. It's not the Browns front seven. So, and they have to play those guys 6 times. I guess so. But I'll give credit where credit is due. I did not think they were going to win this game. I didn't think they really had a shot to win this game. And the power of Joe Burrow, the power of Jamar Chase, that offense, and really that defense, man, holding an explosive, Vikings passing game and Dalvin Cook to 24 points in overtime as well. Great job, man. Great job by the Bengals. I'm not sure who they play next. I'm actually gonna look it up really quickly. Bengals schedule. They play is it the Bears? They play the Bears next week? Yeah, okay, so they play the Bears in Chicago next week. That's a good defense, so we'll see how they stack up against them. But, man, great job by the Bengals. Very happy for them. I want to talk about, well, first things first, I got that wrong. So that's one of the things I got wrong going into week 1. Coming out of week 1, though, what I did get right, the LA Chargers, they're a real team, man. They're a real team. I have them playoff bound. I believe I had them winning 12 games. I'll put the stat up. When the video's through, I'll put the stat up. But I think it was 12 games I had them winning. And that offensive line is much improved. And it starts with Corey Linsley and Rashawn Slater. Slater, had faced, what's his name? Chase Young. I don't know how I forgot his name. He's faced Chase Young while they both were in college. Slater in Northwestern, obviously Chase Young with Ohio State, and he didn't give up anything when he faced him in college. And same thing happened week 1. Didn't give him anything. They had to move him to the right side, Chase Young, to see if he could get anything. And Brian Bulaga, to his credit, healthy now. I don't know how long that's going to last, but he's healthy now. And he did a damn good job as well. So this offensive line is so much better than what it was last year. And Justin Herbert looked composed, looked poised. I thought there was going to be some growing pains. Now, he did have an interception, but overall on the day, looked really good against a hostile crowd. The first time he's faced, a live crowd in the NFL. In Washington, traveling coast to coast, looked good, man, against a damn good defense. Man, probably maybe the best defense they'll face all year. So, sky's the limit for the Chargers, man. They did only score 20 points, but, it's a good defense. They'll get better. It's week 1, coast-to-coast travel. I think they're only going to get better, man. Sky's the limit for the Chargers. They are a real Super Bowl contender as long as they can stay healthy. Let's all hope that they can stay healthy. Now, the Dolphins and the Patriots game was really interesting to me as well. I was not high on the Dolphins. Meanwhile, I'm super high on the Patriots, and I still am. It's just 1 week, so let's not overreact a ton. But, I don't want to shit on Miami, but, the Patriots really should have won the game. Now, I know ifs, ands, buts, shoulds, coulds, maybes. They didn't win the game. I understand. But that fumble at the end, man, if that fumble doesn't happen, the Patriots are on their way to 1-0. Now it did happen again, but I think these teams are so even, man. Respect to the Dolphins. They played a hell of a game, hell of a physical game. I mean, they feel like the Patriots. They feel like the Florida Patriots watching Miami, man. Shout out to Brian Flores, hell of a coach. Tua, I thought, definitely can be better, but I thought he was solid for the most part. I think this offense is going to get better. They get Will Fuller back. Hopefully, Tua can continue to take leaps and steps forward and get better. Because even though he looked fine yesterday, I think he needs to be better for Miami to be a real threat. Meanwhile, on the other side, I thought Mac Jones looked good, man. He was making some nice throws, some nice downfield throws. He had time to throw, and even when he didn't have time, he weaved and maneuvered his way in the pocket very well for somebody making their first career NFL start. So, I have high expectations for Mac. He's in a really good situation. I'm expecting big things out of him. So, not the end of the world for the Pats. They get the Jets next week. That's a get-right game. Man, quick side note on the Jets. Zach Wilson his arm looked phenomenal, but he was on the ground a lot. And Mekhi Becton's out now for, I think, 6 weeks at the max, or the minimum. He's out 6 weeks. So, it could get ugly. It could get ugly. Now, I don't want to, obviously, really hope he stays healthy, because he's my pick for Rookie of the Year. I think he looked insane. On a couple of deep balls that were just off with his receivers. But Zach Wilson is the real deal. If the Jets just don't screw it up, he is an elite talent, and he is an elite prospect, So give it time. It's just week 1 again. So we'll see where Zach Wilson goes. But now I think it's time to talk about the Green Bay Packers and that 38-3 drubbing, at the hands of the New Orleans Saints, man. Now, is it just me, or are the Saints like the scariest D-line in the NFL? Even though on paper it may not seem that way, probably favor Pittsburgh or maybe even the Rams, but for some reason, whenever I watch the Saints, it's always that D-line that trips me up. Even I remember, I picked Tampa to win the Super Bowl last year, and it was the Saints that I had as the scariest threat to Tampa because of that D-line. And the D-line showed itself out today, and that secondary, manning up, Marshawn Lattimore manning up Devontae Adams all game. The Packers just couldn't find a rhythm, man. And some of my friends were saying that Rodgers may have been throwing the game because, him and Green Bay's front office, they're still at odds. And, obviously we'll never know. We'll never know unless he comes out and says it. But it's just 1 week. Let's all relax. The Saints have a good D-line, a good defense. Sean Payton is still a phenomenal play caller, one of the best in the league. So, the Saints are still good. Now, granted, I had them, I think, at 7 wins. I actually have them at third place in their division. I think 6 wins behind Atlanta. That doesn't look good right now. But man, they look good. They look good. They look like a playoff team. Now again, it's just week 1. Let's not overreact to anything, but I could be really, really wrong on the Saints, and really wrong on the Packers. But they play Detroit next week. You know, San Francisco put up the most points out of any team in week 1 so far, on Detroit's defense. So that's another get-right game for Green Bay, Aaron Rodgers and company. So I'm expecting them to bounce back and get a win next weekend. So let's RELAX on Green Bay. Take it easy. It's one game. It's week 1. You know, let's see how they do next week against Detroit. A much more inferior opponent compared to the Saints. And probably to end this video, we got to talk about Arizona, man. Now listen, I picked all 4 NFC West teams to make the playoffs this year. And if Arizona can stay healthy, man, I picked them to win this game too. I know a lot of people thought Tennessee was going to win this game mainly because of Arizona's secondary, being able to take advantage of Arizona's secondary. But the reason I picked Arizona to beat Tennessee is because that front 7 is so stacked. J.J. Watt, Zaven Collins, Isaiah Simmons looks to potentially break out in a second season. And can we give a round of applause to Chandler Jones, man? Oh my goodness. 5 sacks, I think 2 or 3 forced fumbles, blew up plays early and often in that game. And a great job by the Arizona front 7 as well, bottling up Derrick Henry. And, I don't know if I've said this on here, but I've definitely said it to my friends multiple times that, and you get Ryan Tannehill off script, when you get him out of structure, he tends to flop. He tends to stiffen up. He tends to not, make do with what he's got, And when you stop Derrick Henry, that stops and halts the entire Tennessee offense on most days. And that's what they did. They took Derrick Henry out of the picture, and they pinned their ears back and just dominated Ryan Tannehill. And Kyler Murray, man, last year I thought was the year he was going to win MVP. It could be this year. I may have been a year late. Because Kyler Murray, 5 total touchdowns. He's like a creative player. I saw a tweet that said Kyler Murray does things in real life that you can't even do in Madden. Like, that's a perfect description of Kyler Murray. I remember he was rolling out, rolled to his left, looked like he was going to run, then stepped back a little bit and threw the ball to Rondale Moore for a big, like a 20-30 yard game first down. Like, you don't see people doing that. You don't see what Kyler Murray does often. He is a rare talent, a special talent. And Arizona should have made the playoffs last year. I think they were like 6-2 at one point. Maybe 7-2 or like 6-4 or something like that. And Kyler got hurt. Chandler was out damn near the whole season last year. So, they lost a lot of their key guys to injuries, and they still almost made the playoffs at 8-8. The Bears got in on a technicality. If they can stay healthy this year, they are a shoo-in for a playoff spot in my eyes. Honestly, I think all 4 NFC West teams are going to make the playoffs. Now, again, it's just week 1. Let's not overreact to anything, but man, Arizona looks damn good. And to the Titans, they still have a ton of talent. That defense is going to take time to gel. There's a lot of moving pieces, a lot of new pieces. So I do expect Tennessee to start 0-2. I picked them to start 0-2 in my picks before the season started. Opening up against Arizona and Seattle, that's a tough ask for any team. So I do expect them to lose to Seattle next week. And Russell Wilson just tore Lucas Oil Stadium down yesterday. It was incredible to watch. I have Russell in both of my fantasy teams and DK, by the way. But I think that's everything. I don't know if I want to talk about any other games. Urban Meyer might be fired, or actually he might walk out. we'll see how that goes. The Jaguars, I had them losing week 1 as well because I have no faith in Urban Meyer. So I had the Texans beating them week 1. But yeah, man, I think I went over the biggest games. The Steelers look good. That defense is damn good. I was not expecting them to beat Buffalo. I thought they were going to lose that game. Steelers have a realistic shot at 5-0. That's all I'm saying. Look at their schedule. Browns and Chiefs, we talked about that a little bit at the beginning. Chiefs are the Chiefs. What are you going to do about it? I had them 15-2. I had the Browns losing this game when I went over the Browns' schedule before the season started. So I'm not terribly worried. The Falcons look rough. I picked the Falcons to beat the Eagles before the season. Eagles look good, man. And before the season started, I do want to say I had the Eagles second place in the division. Granted, only 6 wins. They could outright win the division. You never know. When you're good at offense and defensive line, the rest of the team tends to figure itself out. The Eagles look good, man. But I think that's how I'm gonna end it. We'll see what the Ravens and Raiders do tonight. I'll talk about that tomorrow. Appreciate the love, appreciate the support. Make sure you like the video, subscribe, follow me on Twitter, Instagram. Those links will be in the description. Once again, man, appreciate the love, support, and we'll be back. Take care. Peace.